Good morning from Canada. Oh, afternoon Atlantic time. Hi, Lois. Welcome to my basement. Okay. This will not be ideal, I don't think, but let's see if we can get... Okay, this will work. Great. Hi, I'm Joanna. I'm going to be guiding you today. This is a Vinyasa practice for strength and stamina. And as we know in a lot of yoga classes, thanks Lois, thank you. As we know in a lot of our yoga classes, in the early stages when people are new to yoga, a lot of the reasons they're coming is either to build flexibility and mobility in their body or strength and stamina. So I thought it'd be interesting to teach a class from that perspective, as if you have new students in your practice who are working with the focus of building strength and stamina. So it will be Vinyasa. You will need 2 blocks and maybe a blanket and an eye pillow for your Shavasana, or a blanket is useful for cushioning the knees in certain postures. You might also find that you'd like a chip foam block if you prefer that to sit on, or for your knees. So I'll meet you on your mat and we'll get going. Okay, so I am sitting on a block and hands are to thighs. This is Sukhasana or easy pose, and we'll open in this shape. You can roll your shoulders up, back and down. You can close your eyes or just softly bring your gaze towards the floor. And we'll gently start to receive our breath. Start to notice your sensations, your senses. Start to notice your pelvis rooting down and the crown of your head lifting tall. Relaxing around your jaw, your eyebrows, your forehead. Welcoming your body into your practice. And as you sit here, bringing your awareness to your solar plexus, which is the space above your belly button and where your diaphragm sits, so the bottom of your rib cage. This is our 3rd chakra, and it is yellow in color, and it is the home of our will, our power, our strength. So it seems very appropriate that we would focus on this space for this class. I want you to visualize a yellow ray of light shining from that space in your body. And I invite you to focus on the following mantra that relates to this space. The mantra goes as follows: I can. And you might finish the mantra there, or you might complete it as a sentence with some positive affirmation about yourself. I can. See what comes to mind for you as you sit. Bring yourself into your body and into this practice of strength and stamina. I can. And let us now take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in and out. And then return to a regular breath. Start to move your fingers and toes and roll your wrists. And move your head side to side. And take a nice big full stretch with your arms reaching overhead. And exhale, lower your hands. Inhale, lift your shoulders up. And exhale, roll your shoulders back and down. One more like that. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. Lovely. From here, we'll move on to our hands and knees. Feel free, like I said, to bring a blanket under the knees or a chip foam block if you have knee sensitivity. And then you can root your hands down into the mat, stacking the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. From here, we'll move into cat and cow to lubricate and warm the back. So as you inhale, you're tilting the tail towards the ceiling, you're softening that solar plexus towards the floor, and you're lifting your chin and your chest up. As you exhale, you're drawing your tail under your body, rounding the spine and looking towards your belly button. Do that twice more. Inhale, come forwards and up. This is your cow pose. And exhale, round the spine. This is cat pose. One more time. Starting the movement from the tailbone and moving all the way up to the crown of your head. And again, starting at the tail, rounding the spine and looking towards your belly button. Come back to neutral. Find one of your blocks and place it on the mat in between your hands at its widest width. And then place your forearms onto the mat either side of that block. We're going to squeeze the block with our forearms and press the forearms and hands down into the floor. You're rolling your shoulders back and down and tucking your toes. From here, we'll lift the kneecaps off the mat as an option. This is where we begin warming and strengthening the body. Wrapping strength around the shoulders so that when we come into down dog, there is a sense of ease perhaps. Now you can stay here with these knees bent and the pelvis a little higher, or you can walk your feet back towards the back edge of your mat, lengthening your legs and drawing your pelvis in line with the rest of your spine. So this is a plank pose, dolphin plank, squeezing those arms into your block so your elbows don't get too wide. Take 3 more breaths, pulling your belly button in, drawing your tailbone towards your belly button, and repeating to yourself, I can. Lovely. Lower those knees. Come up onto your hands, but keep your block where it is. Find downward facing dog now, tucking your toes, lifting your pelvis towards the sky. Exhaling your breath, rooting down through those heels, drawing your shoulder blades down the back of your rib cage, belly button towards spine, softness through your elbows, and pressing into all 10 of your finger pads. Relax your head. Take a nice big cleansing exhale breath. And just noticing how this feels. If this is your first down dog of the day, you might add a bit of extra movement here, just molding the shape into your body. So maybe rocking the hips, shaking the head, fully exhaling the breath. When you're ready, come back down onto your knees and lower those forearms back onto the floor. Coming back into dolphin plank for strength in the shoulders and arms and core. So good for us. Okay, so here you are, hugging that block, Pressing down through your hands and forearms, tucking your toes, and lifting your kneecaps away from the mat. You can stay with this, just moving those knees up and down onto the floor. Or you can hold this position, hovering the knees away, pelvis slightly high, chest lifting away from the floor. Or you can walk your feet back, find that long plank position, drawing the tailbone towards your belly button, and taking some deep breaths, firing up the body. Let's take 3 more cycles here. And then you're lowering those knees, you're coming up onto your hands, maybe taking a nice big cleansing exhale breath. And you can remove your block for now to one side, tuck your toes, spread your fingers and come up into downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a smooth breath out. Now, if during the practice this shape does not feel good in your body for whatever reason, you can always lower back into tabletop or take lovely child's pose, balasana, as a resting option. From down dog or tabletop, inhale the right leg into the sky. Hug your right knee into your chest and give your kneecap a kiss as best you can. Inhale, lift the right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. See if the two can touch one another. Inhale, right leg to sky. You'll notice we're strengthening our core. Exhale, right knee over to the left elbow. Go across your body. Inhale, right leg to the sky. And one more time, right knee to chest. This time, step the right foot forwards. Keeping your left knee off the floor, or you could always lower that left knee down, no problem. Your hands can be on the mat, or on your 2 blocks, or your 2 arms are floating overhead. High or low crescent lunge. Rooting down through those front toes. Hugging your lower ribs in. Hugging the right hip back and squeezing through your inner legs. Try and draw your tailbone slightly forward so that there is less compression in your lower back. Now you can stay here. This is a great strengthening pose for the lower body. Or we can also add in something for the upper body. So you can lean forwards, hinging forwards on a diagonal line, reaching your arms forwards. Keep the body on this diagonal line, but simply drop your arms slowly down by your sides and all the way back behind you. Now imagine you're holding an imaginary beach ball between your hands. So you're hugging the arms towards one another, pushing the arms back, straightening those fingers. And this is welcoming a strengthening exercise into your triceps. So the more you try and lift your arms up behind you and hug them in towards one another, the more you're going to feel this. Whew. On your next inhale, float those arms back up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart space. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, spiral your chest around to the right, squeezing through those inner legs. Here again, we're strengthening the lower region of the body. Option here to hook your left elbow as high up your outer right thigh as you can, bringing your thumbs and sternum towards one another. Squeezing those inner legs towards one another will really create a little more space for this outer right hip and thigh. Inhale, bring those arms back up and overhead, find your balance. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor and step back, downward facing dog, or tabletop or child's pose. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. You can stay here or inhale to plank pose, knees up or down. And then exhale, bend your elbows and lower all the way to the mat in Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck your toes at the base, roll your shoulders up, back and down, and lift your chin and your chest for baby cobra. Exhale, lower your chest, tuck your toes, press into your hands, and come into either tabletop, down dog, or child's pose, this time for 3 breaths. Big cleansing exhale breath. Reminding yourself of that light shining from your solar plexus, your power center, supporting you here. From down dog or tabletop, inhale that left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest, give your kneecap a kiss. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, squeeze tight, engaging those obliques. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee across to the right elbow, squeeze tight. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest, step the left foot forwards lightly in between the hands, setting up your lunge. So again, hands can be on the floor, on blocks, or both hands overhead. Back knee can be off the mat or on the mat, depending on what you need on this side. Find your breath, hug those lower ribs in, draw the tailbone forwards, so you'll feel your core engage here. And we'll move into that lovely triceps strengthening exercise. So leaning forwards with your chest and your arms. Keep the upper body where it is and just lower your arms down by your sides and back behind you. Hug the hands towards one another, lifting the arms up, rolling the shoulders back. Catch your breath. Lovely. Inhale, both those arms back up to the sky, radiating from your solar plexus. Exhale, hands to your heart space. Take a big breath in. And exhale, spiral your chest around to the left as far as it's willing to go. And maybe hook your right elbow as high up your outer left thigh as you can. Turning more of your chest to the left, thumbs to the sternum. And maybe looking directly forwards, or looking more towards the sky, which challenges your balance a little more. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, arms overhead. Find that balance. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back to down dog, tabletop, or child's pose. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Inhale, ripple forwards to plank pose. And exhale, bend the elbows and come down to the mat in one piece, Chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, using the strength from your back to lift your chest. Exhale, lower your chest and press back to down dog, tabletop, or child's pose. 3 breaths. Big inhale, big exhale. Notice how you're feeling, notice where you're warming, where you feel more energized. Know that you are creating that sensation through your body. From down dog or tabletop, inhale your right leg into the sky. Exhale, right knee to chest, step your right foot forwards. Lower your left heel down onto the mat, so your front heel and your back arch are tracking the same line. Your front toes are facing directly forwards, your back toes are facing the long edge of your mat. Front knee is bent, back leg is long, cartwheeling the arms into a warrior 2, looking over those right fingertips. Check that your front knee is tracking over your second and third toes. Check that you're rooting down equally into each leg, so the pelvis is rooting between the 2 legs. Check that your upper body feels soft and light. Nice. Now with the power and strength in the lower body, let's add in some movement for the upper body. So I invite you to hug your left arm over the top of your right arm and give your shoulder blades a little squeeze. Or wrap those forearms around one another until your hands connect, so you're in eagle pose. Now turn your chest to the front left corner of your mat. And on your next inhale, lift your chin, your chest, your elbows towards the sky. As you exhale, round your spine and bring your elbows towards your belly button, looking towards the mat or looking towards your belly button to test your balance. Inhale, come all the way back up, lifting your elbows, lifting your chest. Exhale, rounding the spine, looking towards belly button. If this ever feels too much, you can always put your hands on the mat. Let's take one more cycle. Inhale to rise up. And exhale to fold. Beautiful. Inhale, coming all the way back up and into your warrior two, unraveling your arms. Take an inhale breath. And an exhale breath. On your next inhale, straighten your two legs. Tilt your pelvis towards the back of the room, reach forward with your chest and your right arm. And exhale, come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. With your right hand resting on your inner right leg, your left arm reaching for the sky. From here, we can also add in a little more strength work for our obliques. But firstly, just check in that your 2 feet are spread wide. You're not locking the legs. There's a little bit of softness through your knees. And that you are lifting up through that right side of your waist. So you're not dipping and dropping or collapsing your upper body over your lower body. From here, you keep the left arm where it is and extend your right arm forwards. So you're making an L shape with your arms. This will help you lift up through that right side and engage that core. Woo. Bend the front knee, come back to warrior two as you inhale your breath. And exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat, come onto the ball of your left foot and step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Stay here or inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. You can lower or hover from the mat now and come into upward facing dog with just your hands and the tops of your feet to the floor or into baby cobra like we were doing before. Exhale, down dog, tabletop or child's pose. Take your 3 breaths and help yourself to reset. Beautiful. On your next inhale breath, float your left leg into the sky. Exhale, left knee into chest and step the left foot forwards between your 2 hands. Lower your right heel to the mat, setting the feet in warrior two on this second side. Front toes facing forwards, back toes facing the long edge of your mat. Root down through those feet and cartwheel the arms up and around and into warrior two. Exhale your breath. Stay here or wrap your right arm over your left arm. Give your shoulder blades a hug or wrap your forearms around one another and connect your hands. Turn your chest to the front right corner of your mat. Inhale your heart and chest and chin towards the sky. Exhale, round your back, bringing those elbows towards your belly button and either looking at the mat or looking at your belly. Inhale to rise up, lift your chest, lift your elbows. And exhale to round. Keep tracking that front knee over your second and third toes. One more cycle, inhale, come up, keep the front knee bent. Exhale to round. Inhale, come all the way back up into your warrior two. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, straighten the legs. Reach the pelvis back, reach the left arm and chest forwards, and exhale, come into triangle pose, Trikonasana, extending through those two arms, one reaching for the sky, one reaching down towards the earth. Stay like this, reaching down through your feet, lifting through the left side of your waist, or option to extend that left arm forwards, making an L shape with your arms, lifting through both sides of your waist as equally as you can. I know this is work, I feel it too. And then bend that front knee, come back into your warrior two as you inhale. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the mat and step back to down dog, tabletop or child's pose for a full breath in and a full breath out. We are strong. Stay here or inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale up dog or baby cobra. And exhale, down dog, tabletop or child's pose. 3 breaths. Bend your knees, look to your hands, walk, step or jump to the front edge of your mat. Take a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold over your lovely legs, Uttanasana. Again, like that, halfway lift, keep the knees soft. Exhale, fold, weight into your toes. One more cycle, halfway up. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees, press into the feet. Inhale, float your arms all the way up to the sky. Look to your fingertips. Exhale, hands to your heart. And down by your sides. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. So from here we will play with a balance, using those eagle arms that we just did in our warrior two, and also incorporating the legs. So I invite you to use a block. Some of you will use it, some of you won't. But place the block at its lowest height next to the outside of your left foot. And then stand back up. You can have your hands on your hips. You can have your hands at your heart. You'll see what feels comfortable as we come into this full eagle balance. Find a drishti point, so something in front of you that is still and not moving. And just steady yourself for another full breath in and a full breath out. Root down through your left foot, spread the left toes wide. Peel the right heel away from the mat. And start to lift the right foot off the mat, bringing the right knee towards your chest. Now this might be enough for you today. You just play with this, tapping those right toes up and down off the floor. No problem. If you want to take this further, bend the left knee, take your pelvis back, and then hug your thighs towards one another. So squeeze them tight. Now these right toes can either rest on that lovely block, or some of you might hook your right toes behind your left leg, just being mindful of how this feels through your hips and knees and ankles. Sit a little lower through your pelvis, squeeze those inner legs together, and either keep the arms where you have them, or inhale, arms into a T. Exhale, left arm over right, hold your shoulder blades or wrap your forearms together. And everybody lift your elbows higher. Sit your pelvis a little lower. Lift through your chest. And breathe deep for 3 breaths. Root down through that left foot to lift yourself all the way back up, unraveling your arms and legs, and standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Exhale your breath. Maybe roll your shoulders, shake out the hands, shake the hips. Breathe again if you stopped or if you have a tendency to hold your breath in balances. Let breath find its way through your body again. And just let your body find center, find neutral. So nice. So from here, you can just simply shift that block to the other side if it was helpful. So block to the outside of your right foot. Hands in Anjali Mudra, hands on your hips. Right foot spread into the floor. Left heel peeling off the mat. And maybe left knee coming in towards the chest. Maybe this is where you get off the bus. Maybe this is enough today. I always say this. So maybe if this is what you're doing, tapping toes up and down off the floor, great. Stick with this. Option to bend the right knee a little bit. Hug those inner legs towards one another. Squeeze them tight as they cross. And then left toes on your block or hook the left toes behind your right leg. Sit a little lower, squeeze a little tighter, and either keep your hands at your heart or inhale your arms into a T. Exhale, wrap the right arm over the left and hug the shoulders, or wrap the forearms together. Everybody lift the elbows, sit the pelvis a little lower, and count those deep 3 breaths. Not only does this keep our mind focused, but it also makes us focus on breathing. Last 2 breaths. Last breath. Root down through that right foot, come all the way back to stand up. And find Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Rolling those shoulders up, back and down. Lovely. Now when we're doing all this strength work, it's also really important to stretch. So we've worked the fronts of those thighs quite hard in this class. So I'd love for us to come into a very simple quadricep stretch from a balancing position. So you're at the front of your mat. We're going to root back down through the left foot, left hand on the left hip, right hand behind you as you bend your right knee and bring the right foot and the right hand to meet one another. You're hugging those inner legs towards one another, pressing the pelvis forwards, hugging the right heel towards you. If you want to use a wall for stability or a chair, feel free. So not only is this working a great stretch into the quadricep muscle and the right hip flexor, but you're still testing your balance. So you're still strengthening the left ankle, the left knee, the whole of the left leg is integrated. Swap your sides, so right hand on the right hip, left hand behind you, left foot coming into left hand, knees closer to one another, front of the pelvis pressing forwards, chest lifted. Maybe your right hand is on a wall or on a chair or something for stability, no problem. Keep your focus on that drishti point. And if your hand is resting on something, try and keep it really light there. So it is your right leg that is doing the work. And then finding Tadasana, big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold over your lovely legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. And again, big breath in. Big breath out. One more time, big breath in. Big breath out. Nice. On this inhale breath, exhale and bend your elbows, come through chaturanga. And inhale to up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to down dog, tabletop or child's pose. Taking 3 more breaths. And then meeting in Balasana, child's pose if you're not there already. So knees wide, big toes touching, chest melting towards the floor along with your forehead. If there's a big gap between your forehead and your floor, you could always put a block there. If there's a big gap between your pelvis and your heels, you could always put a block there. From here, we'll move into a stretch for those triceps that we worked earlier. So walk your hands together, elbows resting on the floor. With the hands connected, you're bringing your hands towards the back of the head, neck, or shoulders, and you can rest the hands where they land. You're melting your triceps into the mat, walking those elbows forwards if you need to, relaxing your lower belly, lots of breath. Three more breaths here, starting to cool the body down. And lowering those hands back onto the mat and walking your hands towards your legs, rolling up through your spine. Take a big breath in and a smooth breath out. Come around to a seat and extend your legs forwards and long. Make sure you have room to roll back onto the floor. And on the way down, we're going to use our core and our leg strength. So legs are in parallel, hip distance apart, as are your arms, shoulder distance apart in parallel in front of you. The crown of your head is lifting tall, your belly button's drawn in, and you're going to round the spine and come all the way down to the floor with control, taking your time, core engaged the whole way. And at the bottom, you can completely rest and relax, no holding. And in this moment, I love to offer the practice over to you, the student. What do you need now? What will help you to move into Shavasana? Do you need a full stretch? Do you need happy baby? Do you need butterfly pose? Do you need a twist? Do you just want these extra moments in Shavasana today? Go in and see what your body is requesting. You are your best guide and teacher. You know what you need here, what will help you to cool, to calm, to slow down. So follow that intuition, follow that knowing. That is part of your power, that is part of your will that comes from your solar plexus. This confidence in knowing who you are and what you need. So move from that place and know that we will meet one another in Shavasana to close our practice. So feel free to add a blanket over your body if that would feel nice. Or sometimes just having the blanket as a weight over the torso can feel nice. It can be grounding to have a little weight on the front of the hips or on the belly. And the same with your eye pillow. Maybe your eye pillow just rests on your belly for that grounding, or maybe the eye pillow goes over the eyes. Your arms are slightly wide of your body, your palms face up. Legs slightly wide of your body, toes rolling out. Back of the neck nice and long. Back of the head heavy. And as you settle in this spinal shape, take a moment to really appreciate your body. Wow, it is so strong. It is so resilient. So as you float into Shavasana, let there be contentment and gratitude for what you've just done here on your mat today. And now rest, and I will call you from Shavasana when it's time. If you have more time to dedicate to Shavasana today, please stay as you are. However, if it's time for you to come out, start to deepen your breath and start to move the fingers and toes a little. Roll the wrists and ankles and take a nice big stretch of your whole body along the floor. As you exhale, hug your knees to your chest and rock on your back. And roll onto your side for a couple of breaths. Slowly making your way up to Sukhasana, a tall, easy seat, just as we began the practice. But noticing in this moment how you have shifted, how the practice has changed you. You're sitting in a new body now. You can keep your hands on your thighs or bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the center of your chest, this symbol of offering and devotion, with the heels of the hands gently touching and all the finger pads gently touching, and a little gap between those hands like you have a nesting bird there. Thumbs towards your sternum. Breathe into your solar plexus and repeat to yourself once again, I can. And thank you so much for your time, your energy, your breath. Your strong, strong bodies here on your mat. It's my pleasure to guide you always. Namaste.